Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. I'm Andrew Gus, joined alongside Garrett Drake. We're here in Dayton, Ohio. Our matchup between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Dayton Flyers. We saw the two teams face off last night. A 7-2 thriller as the Hoosiers came out on top. 3-2 was the score going into period number 3. And the final score, 7-2, as I just mentioned. So the Hoosiers had a big third period. And after a night in their own bed sleeping and a 3-hour bus trip earlier on this afternoon, here they are, ready to go, as we're just under a month away from playoffs. Garrett, this team's ready. They've got some fuel and fire built up inside of them, expecting a big game here tonight. What are they going to have to do to get the job done?
Well, last night they started off just about as good as you could, and we were talking early in the game that, things really could have gotten away from Dayton the way Indiana started off up 3-0, but the Flyers scored 2 in the second. Indiana didn't score any, and it was a 3-2 game going into the third, but the Hoosiers able to pull away, scoring 4 goals in the third frame. So I would expect more of the high scoring to continue for this Hoosier team, but just try to limit the mistakes that they made yesterday to lead to those couple of Dayton goals.
Now, Garrett, the Flyers gave up 4 goals in that third period. And back at home here, it's their senior night. Only one senior. That's Kevin Baram. He's 5'11", 182 pounds. He was honored here before this game. But this team, back in their own barn, a lot of physicality at the end of the game last night, and definitely expect to see a lot of physicality from the get-go here tonight. Expecting a lot of chippiness, a lot of shots, and just a great game in general. So we're just waiting for the players to pick up the last few pucks, and we'll get underway.
Looks like we might have some lineups and maybe a national anthem here. We'll keep you posted. Well, that was something.
It sure was. My ears are ringing a little bit. A lot of loud noise, but we're ready and just about set for puck drop. So our two starting teams, as you may have heard, the Hoosiers dressed in their road whites with the red trim on the outside. Senior Brendan McCaskey between the pipes for the Hoosiers tonight. And for the Flyers, they'll be wearing their light blue jerseys with the red and white trim. Back in net for them once again, the freshman goaltender, Tavian Parks. We're just about ready to go. All right, Garrett, the official makes his signals. He's got the biscuit in his hand, it hits the ice, and we're underway. There'll be one back to the Hoosiers' defense as Jack Hawkins will slide it over to Hardy. Hardy up the middle will try to connect to Rosenberg. Rosenberg takes a shot to the far side, tries to crash the back of net with Simino. And a glove save there, the first of the day for Tavian Parks. Now, Garrett, he was bombarded with shots last night. Probably saw about 60 to 70 shots coming from the Hoosiers. Made a lot of big saves, but he'll definitely be tested once again here tonight.
Yeah, he put in an impressive performance, all things considering, and you mentioned the amount of shots that he saw last night, but when you play a team like Indiana and you let them get that many shots on net, they're bound to put up at least 5 or 6, and yesterday they added one more for extra measure.
Zach Hardy will dangle a little bit in his own end and give it up to Hawkins. As Hawkins tries to remove it up ice, the Flyers will settle it down for a moment. It'll be Ian Smith, the puck carrier. Smith all alone has a shot. This one goes wide. Put 2 past Parks last night. He's hungry for more here this evening. As Dayton moves in, this one will just miss the stick of Stuber. He'll slide it around and get collided with along the glass. It'll be Rosenberg trying to move it up ice, but Leo Warner will be there to send it around instead. As Rosenberg hits the deck, Hardy will chase. Hardy will send it up the wing to Simino, and Simino now connects with Smith. Smith fires a shot, this one deflected wide. As now the Flyers pick it up, they'll begin to move up ice. Warner tries to hit 19 on 19. Once again, the number we didn't have on our roster sheet last night for the Flyers. As DiLorenzo will try to pick up that puck. It will free up back to the Hoosier defense. Sophomore defenseman Leo Warner looking for options, will leave it off for Will Jeremy. Jeremy will slide it up to the tape of DiLorenzo, who will receive it right back after Michele gave it to him. DiLorenzo fires a shot. This one strikes end boards and will come all the way out to the neutral zone. Well, Garrett, we're still yet to see that big first hit of the game we were expecting, and both teams realized this is a big game for either side, so obviously I think scoring will be the first thing here instead of physicality. As Jeremy fires a shot, this one saved by Parks, the glove.
We had the music come on while we were still in play.
As some bodies collide, it'll be picked up on the far side wall by Feroci.
And Brendan McCaskey starting in net for the Hoosiers today, still yet to see a shot from the Dayton Flyers.
As Hardy will get harassed there for a moment, he'll send it up the glass to his roommate, Colin Ruffner. Ruffner has a shot. This one might have hit the outside of the post, and then the end boards after that. As the Flyers will now once again start to work up ice. It'll finally get batted down and will now be carried. Now, Garrett, a tough angle for us here tonight in the corner, so we apologize, especially when the team coming towards us is en route to the net. It's hard to see those numbers from the backside of their sweaters. All we see is the front, but we'll try our very best. As Hawkins lays on a hit there, he'll lose his own stick, but Andrew Chambers there to send it off the wall to Zach Hardy.
Yeah, we just do what we're told when we're on the road and try to make the best of it, so we've got our little corner here.
Slavin trying to pass there that didn't connect, and Dayton will now take it. As it frees up, it'll be Jack Hawkins holding on to it for a moment, and he'll now slide it up the middle. He's got Patrick Brandenburg. Brandenburg will give it right back, and Jack Hawkins will have a skate. He'll dump it in deep. The first one to chase, Stevie Wheatley. As now this puck frees up in front of the Dayton bench, both sides trying to fight for it. Dayton will come on top. That came from Kevin Bora, and offsides the call. One of our first whistles here this evening. 16:51 left in the first. Well, Garrett, both coaches must have done their job last night and earlier on this evening, letting their teams know they need to play disciplined hockey tonight, because I honestly was expecting a big fight to break out right at the beginning, as there was one at the end of the game last night, but not the case, as Stevie Wheatley will dump that in. It'll be chased by Brandenburg, first one on the scene. He'll grab this puck and try to send it back up to the point. Paul McClure calling for it, but that pass just didn't get through. So Jake Rock will collide with a man and knock him down to the ice. It's Kevin Bora. And icing the call will go back to the Dayton end, and the Hoosiers will have an offensive zone faceoff.
Yeah, you talked about the physicality in last night's game. So far, it seems like they forgot about what happened last night, and things have been pretty chill. But if Indiana starts to pull away or vice versa, we could see things get chippy again. It was Castracane at the end of the game last night who was getting into it with the Dayton bench, as he was sent to the showers early, but he's inactive for today's contest.
And Garrett, you can already see that swarm of Flyer students over there just along their own blue line. We saw them last year too, made a little bit of ruckus, so hopefully the players can keep their head focused on the game and not worry about those fans yelling at them, because we saw that come into play last year as Raftis lays a nice big hit in open ice. The Hoosiers will now regain possession of this puck. As kicker flings it up the boards, they'll connect with Simoneau, who now moves it over to Raftis. As Raftis will send it to the tape, it's Ben Rosenberg. Rosenberg using his body to shield this puck. A centering pass there. A few bodies in the lane couldn't get through. Raftis once again hesitates, sends it down the wing. It's Simoneau again. As him and Rosenberg play pitch and catch for a moment. It'll be the Flyers now taking possession. Back to the point, Raftis will slide it over to Kicker. Kicker has a shot. This one saved by the glove of Parks. Another stoppage of play.
Yeah, I think there's a malfunction with the clock, because when you said it was 16:51, I was at 15:51 on here, and it looks like it's 14:32 now. So
maybe that.
Yeah, well, I think one of the lines is always on, like it doesn't come off. So.
I think I'm seeing it now too. That far green is tough to see from all the way over here, 200 feet away.
Because I was about to say we went 3 minutes without a whistle, and maybe think twice about it, but that was actually the case.
Well, I'm glad you've got a clock to keep us in check. So Will Kicker will now spin around with this puck, and he'll send it up trying to go off the backhand, but the glass a little short right there, and that one out of play. So a souvenir for someone, as they'll grab a new puck and bring it into play.
Of course, we've got a scoreboard on our end as well, but we can't really see it from our angle either. So,
as this puck will be won back to the Hoosier defense, it'll be Will Kicker taking it around as he'll swing it up the boards to Aiden Simoneau. Simoneau will send it to the far side and try to go with Smith off his skate. No icing the call. So the Hoosiers able to get a line change there, as Dayton will begin to get up ice. Once again, no icing as they chipped it in deep. It'll be Jack Hawkins skating up ice. Full head of steam as he'll cross the blue line and cut to the middle. Hawkins still puck on his stick. A centering pass there. Parks never saw it. As Dayton once again regains possession. DiLorenzo quickly steals it away. Now Zach Hardy tries a shot. This one deflected off a shin guard. Now swinging in down below, the team president, Drew Michelli, fighting for this. He's got 3 Flyers on him. As now Will Jeremy steps in to take the puck for a moment. Some bodies collide down below. And now the Dayton defense will begin to work up ice.
You talked about Hawkins. He just took it through everyone on that initial rush. Now he's back towards McCaskey.
And Garrett, I don't want to jinx anything either, but you mentioned Brendan McCaskey's name. McCaskey has not seen a single shot yet tonight, as the Flyers really have not had an opportunity. Here's Luke Slavin now with a chance. A spinning pass, tried to connect to the back door with DiLorenzo, but a stick caught that in the lane.
That's the right idea there. Nice pass by Slavin, just unable to get a shot off.
Leo Warner will give it up to Andrew Chambers, who will shove it out of the zone. This one off one of the Flyers' own. I believe that caught Rutherford. As Ruffner gives it over to Slavin, he'll be collided with a shoulder. A turnover there off of Dayton. Andrew Chambers quick to have that puck again. As Chambers chases down below, he's looking for options. He'll send it up to the point. Warner will give it off. This one shot by McClure. Still loose in front, back door. And the Hoosiers just could not bury Tavian Parks out of his net, but couldn't finish it off.
That puck went from one side of the crease to the other behind Parks. Just no Indiana player there to tap it in.
McCaskey will finally shovel one away from him, as Colin Ruffner will give it off to Leo Warner. Warner will give it off to McClure, and he'll have a skate up ice. McClure will juke past two men, and now trying to get the third, who's able to take it away from him, as it looked like he was dragged down to the ice. So Raftis will send it back in deep as this puck rims all the way around. One body will hit the ice, and we'll see a hand pass. And once again, apologize. Really tough to see all those numbers all the way down there, especially when someone's behind the net. A tough angle for us, but we'll try our very best, as we said. As this one gets past Will Kicker, Tinos Raftis is going to have to chase hard. A great back check there by Jake Rock to stop that odd man rush from occurring. And now the Hoosiers are starting to work up ice as it gets dumped in deep. Rock will once again chase, as Kicker will pinch down below. Will be picked up on the far side and chipped out through the neutral zone. Konstantinos Raftis sends it over to Will Kicker, and he'll now take a shot all the way down to the corner and get a line change. The Flyers will try to work up ice quick, but a centering pass there, and the arm flies up. We'll see our first penalty of the evening.
I think it's going on Indiana, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Brandenburg too.
And the crowd already getting into it over there.
And a silly mistake there by number 25 of the Flyers, Connor Constantinople, as he just face-washed Zach Hardy. I think he's going to go to the box as well. So we'll see Brandenburg escorted to the box for his own side, but we'll see what penalties go up on that big board.
It might turn into a 4-on-4 because of that, which would be fortunate for the Hoosiers, but just something you can't do.
So we'll see 1 2-minute go up for Brandenburg. And we'll see another 2-minute go up for Constable. So Constable, a stupid penalty there, if you ask me, as his team had a free penalty right there, and he just immediately washed it out. So a 4-on-4 now, which would be a great opportunity for the Flyers to go up a man and hopefully get some offensive zone face-off time. But unfortunately, with his penalty, it'll now be a 4-on-4. A little more time and space for both sides. Our Hoosiers will win this face-off. Zach Hardy will send it up and connect to Aiden Simino. Simino dekes in for a moment, although he was stopped right in the slot. Now Hawkins tries a shot. This one goes wide. It strikes the end board. And now the Flyers try to work up ice off a skate. Ice in the call, and we'll go 200 feet back the other way for a face-off. And Brett Jones was not too happy with that call, but off his skate, deflected. He was behind the red line, so I can see where the officials made that call. We'll keep playing 4-on-4 for the next minute 34 as Rosenberg will win it back. The first one on the scene, Brett Smith. As he'll send it around, this puck will free all the way to the goal line. Zach Hardy, the first one there. He'll fake back and hesitate and now start to skate up ice. As he'll give it to Simino. Simino will decide to skate. Although he'll be trapped for a moment, the Hoosiers will have to regroup.
Indiana comfortable in 4-on-4 situations. We've seen them have ample success when they get the extra space, and fortunate whistle on the offsides there.
A little late offsides call there, but we'll go back to the neutral zone for a draw. It's still 8:48, if I'm not mistaken, up on the big board.
Yeah, Brett Smith was going to have a pretty good look at the net if they didn't blow the whistle on that one. Only one shot faced so far by McCaskey.
And both sides will have a full sail line change. We'll see DiLorenzo quickly begin to skate up ice and now retreat back to hopefully catch the Dayton defense off guard. And sure enough, there goes Leo Warner. So they already beat one man. We'll see if they can get past another as DiLorenzo will swing in. He'll pick it up and chip it off the boards down below. He tried to go to Warner, but that pass was cut off by the Flyers. It was Meichenbaum. And this pass a little off the mark. Back to Indiana. Warner on his own dot will send it up. But the Hoosiers unable to capitalize there and get up ice. So a little more neutral zone back and forth we'll see. As Jeremy will now get on his horse and chase. He was stopped there by Dayton defense. And now they'll take a turn.
Back to 5 aside now.
A save there by McCaskey. And a centering pass to DiLorenzo. He'll send it over to Slavin. Parks makes the save. As it frees up down below, both sides battle for it. It'll be Ward and Slavin battling in that far side corner. As it'll now be chipped up through neutral ice. No ice in the call. Will Kicker, the first one on the scene. As he'll get slammed down to the glass. A dirty hit there. This does not seem good.
We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back.
We join you back here live from the Kettering Ice Center. We're going to call 2 minutes for roughing on the play. Now, Kicker was hit pretty hard. He was about 3 or 4 feet off the boards, and from my angle, I thought that was a clear boarding. But they'll call only 2 minutes, and Kicker will be helped off the ice by his own teammates. And we'll see if this will wake up a fuel inside of the Indiana Hearts, see if they can bury a power play goal here, but the Hoosiers will slide it over to Ethan DiLorenzo. As he'll fire a shot down below, this one deflected off a shin guard. Back off to the point and slid down. Warner will give it off to Rosenberg. Warner to Jeremy, who will be harassed at the blue line. He'll slide it over to DiLorenzo once again. He'll give it to Warner as Warner has a shot. This one saved by Parks. And another stoppage of play. So still a minute 24 left to go on the penalty there.
And that's one of those hits that might ignite something in this game, and Indiana not going to be too happy about that one.
And a team that absolutely loves each other, a bunch of brothers, so I have to imagine once we return back to even strength, as another save there by Parks, as we return back to even strength, it would not surprise me if once Dayton gets the puck, the Hoosiers lay a few big hits and try to wake them up. So Rosenberg will step back in to take this draw, as he'll win it back. A one-timer by DiLorenzo. This one, a great shot, just a little wide. And Warner will swing back to his own end to regroup. And he's still got a minute to go left on the man advantage. As Warner will slide it up to DiLorenzo. D'Lo will give it off to Rosenberg. Rosenberg will send it down below. A shot attempt there, but was sticked away, so back to neutral ice and back to the Hoosiers' end. It'll be Warner as he'll have to pick it up one more time. And hopefully the Hoosiers can set up some offensive zone time here.
They just need to get it down into the zone and hold it there until the penalty's over if they don't get a shot.
DiLorenzo collided with there as he'll skate all the way around the rink. He'll give it off to the point. Back down below, a centering pass there, just missed Hardy. Excuse me, and he'll now have to chase and find this puck.
Yeah, just try to get it back in these final 15 seconds if you can. It's not looking too promising right now, though.
As Jeremy will begin to skate up ice. He'll shoot this one. Parks makes the save, still loose in front. And now Dayton tries to get up ice the other way. A missed pass there. McCaskey out of his net to play it. He'll fling it up as this one shot. McCaskey makes the save. Still loose in the butterfly. This one just misses.
Wow.
A great opportunity from the Dayton Flyers, unable to capitalize, as McClure will pick up this puck and begin to skate up ice.
And I think if McCaskey could have done that over, he probably wouldn't have came out to get that one.
I agree with that.
He did a good job getting back.
And here's Andrew Chambers all alone. Chambers tries a shot, but was dragged all the way down to the ice, as Parks now out of his cage will lose a stride. Now Semino with it. He'll have a shot. Parks makes the save. And Garrett, here's that chippiness we were expecting.
It's McClure down there with a Dayton Flyer. It looks like potentially that was
Clark.
Yeah, 12, Sullivan Clark.
And we're going to see a penalty of some sort come up here. You see the official making some pointing, but
it might be a double.
And yeah, will we see 4-on-4 again? It looks like we might.
Yep.
Sure enough. Parks so far, Garrett's played a great game. The Hoosiers have definitely had more opportunities, but Dayton's definitely cleaned up their defensive zone a bit, but there's not been as many opportunities in front or rebounds in Parks' credit. And we're still at a 0-0 score right now.
Yeah, neither team able to get any quality looks early on, and you talked about it, still 0-0. A lot slower of a pace than yesterday's game as the music continues to play while the puck's in play.
And now I believe the Hoosiers are going to go for a penalty. As the official there, a very dramatic
tripping
call. Once again, looks like he's really having a good time making that call.
So now it's going to be a Dayton 4-on-3.
And the Hoosiers are going to have to dial in here in their own end. So a minute 49 of 4-on-3. as the Flyers will win this draw. They'll be held at the point. They'll slide it down. Back to the top. A shot, and McCaskey makes the save. That shot came from Brett Smith.
Well, we didn't see much discipline in the game yesterday in terms of penalties, and already quite a few here in the first.
This one shot saved on by McCaskey. As Warner chased up top, Hawkins, a nice play with his skate there. A stick goes flying.
It was hard. Oh, no, it wasn't.
The Flyer, a backdoor shot there.
Great
and
save.
A great save by McCaskey. As it was loose down below. Warner able to make a stick play, and he'll be off to the races. A 2-on-1, Warner and Brandenburg. He'll shoot this one, it goes wide, and the Hoosiers are gonna have to get back. This one shot on and scored. Thomas Rutherford for the Flyers will score there, and we'll return back to 4-on-4. Now, Garrett, the Hoosiers just cannot be discouraged here as it's one goal, and they've been dominating so far. And they've just got to keep themselves disciplined, stay out of the box, and play their game. As you can already sense, Dayton starting to get into their heads.
Well, we saw Leo Warner get a good chance on a 2-on-1, and then it was a 3-on-1 for Dayton back the other way. Tinos Raftis was the only player back, and all it took was a couple stick handles and a shot past McCaskey. It's 1-0.
And that's the problem when you're on a 4-on-3. You want to be aggressive and try to score, but when you have two guys past that far blue line and you have to chase back, obviously the odd man rush for the Flyers there worked out, but we'll see Aiden Simoneau now skating in as he'll be collided with. Simon will be hit once again as Raftis will slide it over to Zach Hardy. Hardy will get dropped as the physicality already starting to increase. We'll see if the Hoosiers will respond. It'll be left off. Simoneau will try to knock off a man. It'll be Rosenberg skating with it as he'll begin to move up ice. Ben Rosenberg will stick handle. He'll juke past the man. A centering pass there. Raftis tries a shot and a save there by Parks. And now the Flyers once again the other way. They'll chip it in deep and change. McClure, the first one there, will scoop it up. As he'll weave through a few, he'll be stopped there. We're back to 5-on-5 as McClure lays a hit. Michelli's pass will connect to the far side. Once again, it's McClure. He'll leave it off for DiLorenzo. This one shot on as it goes just wide. And Dayton will now once again begin to work up ice. As Hawkins will lift a man, he'll drop him to the ice. Pass there as McClure tries a hit attempt, still loose in front. Another opportunity saved by McCaskey. And here's Will Jeremy. As he'll chase down below, he'll get dragged to the ice. No call on the play as he lost the puck there. It'll free up to the middle. And now the Flyers start another attack. Michelli will get collided with. As he'll try to chip it up the glass, he will connect. And once again, Garrett, they're playing music. It's just kind of a madhouse here in Dayton, I guess. Whatever you want goes. But Warren will chase behind the net and pick it up. As he'll reverse hit a man down to the ice. That was Sullivan Clark. Chambers pass will rim all the way back down to Warner as he'll send it up to Luke Slavin. Now Andrew Chambers will carry it up to the far side as he'll slide it over. Just missed the stick of DiLorenzo. As D'Lo will chip it back down below.
They've just been one pass away on a lot of these chances.
Hawkins tries a shot. That was blocked away. Ruffner back on the scene. Ruffner able to get his stick in the way. McCaskey will reach up and make the glove save. And another stoppage of play. Garrett, the intensity has definitely arisen here in this game, as the first 5 minutes look a lot different than the last 5 minutes we've seen. Chambers will square off and win another draw, as the Flyers will swing in down below to pick it up. A one-time shot taken, and that one goes just wide. As now picked up on the far side point by Brett Smith. Hawkins able to get a stick on it. It'll go all the way the length of the ice, but on target will connect to Tavian Parks. As it goes all the way down, we'll see an icing, and we'll go back the other way.
Man, that would be something if they can get a goal here towards the end of the frame. But
you're absolutely right.
They just haven't been able to get anything.
Well, the officials will discuss something at the scorer's table. I'm not sure what exactly.
Well, the clock's running now, and looks like they might be wanting to take some time off. Maybe it stopped prematurely. It's at 1:16 now. Or is it 15? We can't tell.
I can't tell either. It might be a 6. And now it hasn't started at all.
Oh my gosh. This is just a disaster.
It really is. As bodies will, all right, it's finally started. Bodies will hit the deck on the far side. As Raftis will step down to play it. He'll collide with the stick. Jake Rock will step up. Rock tries a shot. This one goes just wide. We're down to just a minute left to play in the period. It'll rim around to Steve Wheatley. Wheatley, a centering pass there to Raftis. Raftis shoots, and the save by Parks. I don't know how he saw that one. I had a great line of it from here of exactly where Raftis released that puck, and Parks made that save.
Yeah, I'm still
nice stop.
I'm still not convinced he even saw it. He flung his glove up and went right in. A heck of a save.
We saw it a few times last night too, where you really wasn't sure if he could even see that puck, and his body able to make the save. A quality goaltender the Flyers have. Well, they'll now begin to skate up ice again, as McClure will step up on man. A pass there from Stuber. Won't connect, as he'll try to take it away. Will Jeremy will send it up and out of the zone. McClure will send it over. As down to just 15 seconds left to go in the period. Semino, a centering pass to Jeremy, and he'll skate up ice for one last attempt. Jeremy strikes and hits the post. This one goes just wide, down to just 5 seconds left to go. Both teams fighting for it as it loosens up. We'll hear the buzzer, and that'll be the end of our first 20 minutes played here at the Kettering Ice Center. Well, Garrett, definitely an interesting period there, and not what I expected, but 1-0 our score right now as the Flyers will lead. Both teams will go to the dressing rooms, and the Zamboni will do its job. We'll be back for period 2 in just a few minutes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. We're here at the first intermission between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Dayton Flyers, where your Indiana Hoosiers trail 0-1. A little bit of a lower scoring affair compared to what we saw last night, but it was largely in part due to the goaltenders from both sides, especially Tavian Parks here for the Dayton Flyers. Picked up where he left off in that second period of last night's game, where he did not let up a single goal that period. Does the same here in the first period. And for the Hoosiers, we have Brendan McCaskey starting over Sammy Billis for the second matchup between these two teams. They got off to a great start for the Indiana Hoosiers. The ice was once again slanted in their favor, but Tavian Parks was able to stop a numerous amount of shots. None of them were necessarily golden opportunities, but he held his own as much as he needed to and held the Hoosiers scoreless through 20. As for McCaskey, he got his first real tests about 9 minutes into the period when the Dayton Flyers ripped off a series of shots, but he held his own, especially on one of the breakaways where it was 2-on-1, and he held his own up until around the 4:30 mark. But at the 6:30 mark, Parks moves out of the crease and makes a save, and then also makes a kick-push save once again on a series of shots that he made phenomenal saves, and really is the reason that the Hoosiers are scoreless here tonight. But when the Hoosiers went 3-on-4 with about 4:30 left in the first period, they had a breakaway opportunity shorthanded, and it looked like Leo Werner and co. were about to get a goal for the Hoosiers, but the Dayton Flyers quickly turned it around and got an opportunity for themselves. It was 3-on-1, and it almost looks as if Brendan McCaskey was expecting a pass from a Dayton Flyer, but it was a shot that came on net, and it wasn't really expected from Brendan McCaskey, but it did go past him on his blocker side. That's where we find ourselves right now. It's 1-0 for the Dayton Flyers, but in terms of the keys for success going into the second period for the Indiana Hoosiers, I'd like to see some stretch ice passes. They're a faster team, as we can tell, but they need to get more open looks. A lot of the shots that they have weren't great looks, but if they want to have better looks in the second and third period, they need to be able to cherry pick and get some breakaway opportunities. Have they done so far this season? Another one that matches with that is speed and physicality. They came out and looked almost as a worse team this first period, which we didn't see at all last game. But for this period, the Dayton Flyers looked as if they had an advantage or an edge in this game, especially because the crowd seems to begin it rather than at the Frank Southern. It was a lot of the Hoosiers fans. As in terms for Dayton, we've got fight for the breakaways. We saw it a couple times this period. They had some good looks against Brendan McCaskey, and he's a goaltender that might not make all the routine saves that Sammy Billis might make. So if they want to be able to rip shots off on the net, they need to do it at better opportunities and better costs than just hucking it and chalking it into the net. Also, trap at the blue line. Do not let the Hoosiers have those breakaway opportunities. Don't let them get open skating lanes on the left and right wings and make it harder for entries. If they do that, the Hoosiers' opportunities will be limited just as they were in the first period, and the Dayton Flyers will look to hold on to this lead. We'll be back in a few minutes with Garrett and Goose for the puck drop of the second period.
Back here from Dayton, Ohio at the Kettering Ice Center. We're ready for period number 2 between the Hoosiers and the Flyers. As the Hoosiers will win this back, it'll be Jack Hawkins on his own blue line. He'll chip it off the glass, and it'll now be collected by Thomas Sieve. As the Hoosiers now have a rush up ice. Jeremy pushed off the puck there. Here's Zach Hardy, a spinning move as Jeremy down below on the doorstep. He'll try a pass to DiLorenzo, but that was a little off the mark. As now down below, Michele will chase for it. Jeremy pushed off the puck. And the Flyers now begin to work up ice the other way. As the leaping Zach Hardy was able to bring that puck back down to the ice. They'll give it up to Jeremy, but his secondary pass attempt there just did not get through. As DiLorenzo now will try to fight for it. Michele has a shot. This one goes just wide. As DiLorenzo now to Hardy. Hardy will just fling it back into the zone. It'll rim all the way around as it'll now free up to the neutral zone. A pass there that tried to go to DiLorenzo, but just didn't make its way through. As it rims all the way around. This one shot on and saved by the stick of Jack Hawkins. Helping his goaltender McCaskey out. As Chambers will get rubbed off the puck there. He'll give it over to Luke Slavin. Slavin will send it back behind the net. This time will now be carried up by Paul McClure. As McClure tries to connect to Slavin, it'll be kicked away from him. And now here's Andrew Chambers. Chambers slides one to the back door. Ruffner was there, but just a second too late. As he'll regroup and send it back down below. The awaiting Slavin will rim it back off the boards. And now into Dayton possession. Be sent on from the stick of Umhofer. As now they'll chip it up high and out of the zone. Ruffner back on the attack.
Nice job
send it
taking
back.
that one away.
As off of McCaskey's stick there. It'll be freed up. A pass will connect to the far side. It's once again Paul McClure, and he'll now decide to just chip it in deep and go for a line change. The Dayton will start a breakout, although they're stopped short by Slavin. They'll try to feed it over to Ruffner, but just couldn't get that pass through. As Raftis waits for everyone to tag up, he'll begin to skate in as he'll curl to the outside. This one frees back up to the point. It's Hawkins. He'll center one. This one shot scored! Aiden Simoneau. And 1-1 our score. A nice goal there by Sim. And now we're knotted at 1. A tip-in goal there at the front. That came from the shot of Hawkins. And you know it's a good sign if you're the Hoosiers because they're not even happy about that. Not even a single smile on their faces. As right through the line and right back to the dot. They want more.
It looks like that shot got a piece of a couple things on its way to the back of the net and just crossed completely. The puck did over the red line.
As McCaskey will make the grab there. The Hoosiers will once again work up ice. With a full head of steam, it's Rosenberg. A nice toe drag to the back door. Sim tries again and a 5-hole save. As Ian Smith will leave off that puck for Rosenberg. Rosenberg will send it off to the point, but stolen away there by the Flyers.
That was a heck of a move by Rosenberg. Perfect pass as well. Simoneau almost had 2 goals on the same shift.
Simoneau now will send it up, trying to find Rosenberg once again. Rosenberg will chip it forward and let Ian Smith attack. A 2-on-1. A centering pass tried to find Simoneau there on the doorstep, but he was lifted. His stick was lifted there, pardon me. As now Brandenburg will chase down below. He'll find this loose puck and give it to Ian Smith. Smith, another backdoor opportunity. This one was Steve Wheatley cutting towards the back door, as it seems like they're trying that backdoor play every time now. Wheatley will have his stick lift as well, as this puck will be held in the zone. Patrick Brandenburg will chip it off the glass in front of us as it rims around. Smith lays a nice hit there. As Wheatley, a centering pass, but nobody in sight. Brandenburg will lay a hit, and now dumped in by Sullivan Clark on the far side. As it rims all the way around, Warner tried to go up quick, but was unable to do so. As a swarm of Flyers came to him. Here's Jake Rock now, the freshman forward. As he'll have a shot. This one deflects up high and will go out of play. Stoppage here.
I was wondering if you were going to try to say the time. It's 15:37.
I thought about it for a moment, but decided not to, as it looks like 16:37 from our angle, but I guess Garrett's got us right with 15, so Brandenburg will lose this draw as it rims all the way around to the far side, awaiting Stuber. Brandenburg will hit the deck, as now it'll be carried up the wing by 44. We have as Mark Pachetti. Now back to the Dayton defense. A move there laid on by Brett Smith. As Smith tries to drive down below, McClure stopped him and stripped him off the puck. Back to the point and back down below. This one deflected wide past the net of McCaskey. As another centering pass there was stopped away by Brandenburg. He'll try to take possession of this puck. Now McClure will shoot it down. No icing the call as it just missed the stick.
What do we got here?
And McClure a little slow to his feet. I think we're going to see a penalty. And this is going to go against number 7, Hayden Ward of the Flyers. So now the Hoosiers gifted a power play opportunity here. And we'll see if they can get something going here right in front of us.
That penalty was pretty far behind the play, too. Unnecessary action taken by Dayton there, but Indiana trying to capitalize.
Simoneau quick to receive this puck off the draw. We'll give it up to Jeremy. Jeremy back down below to Simoneau and off to the point. Warner will have this puck bounce off his stick, and the Flyers nearly on an odd man rush the other way. So the Hoosiers will reset back in the neutral zone and start to skate up ice. But Garrett, a good win there and almost had a centering pass to Jeremy, but they just couldn't connect when they won that face-off. So we'll have another skate up ice as DiLorenzo will carry it for the time being, as now Aiden Simoneau will leave it off. A forced pass there and all the way down the length of the ice as McCaskey will step out of his cage to leave it off for Warner. DiLorenzo, a fancy move there. Although that puck couldn't get through. Carried now by Bora. As the Flyers will shoot this one all the way in. That one was saved by McCaskey. That shot came from the red line at center ice. And the Hoosiers still yet to have a good look on this power play, as another pass there a little off the mark. It'll go just wide as Jeremy will be the first one there. He'll start to skate up ice as he was stripped there off a player who just got on the ice. And they've got too many men out there. Dayton's got a full 5, as now they've got 4. We'll see a chase as DiLorenzo will get up to that puck quick. As he tried to lay a hit there. Looked to be a little bit of miscommunication there, Garrett, as Dayton was trying to change there.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But Zach Hardy will now pick up this puck in the far side wing. And give it off to Aiden Simoneau. And Simoneau will send it all the way up to Luke Slavin. The Hoosiers will now go into the offensive zone. Slavin will send it down to DiLorenzo as he'll shield off a defender from this puck. Now Slavin once again with it down below. Simoneau to the back door. Had DiLorenzo, but that was just a little off the mark. Still loose in front as Parks able to make a trapper save right there. The Hoosiers came close to striking once again, but this time we return to back to even 5-on-5 strength as the Flyers bring out their 5th man.
Yeah, Tavian Parks has really been playing phenomenal dating back to yesterday's contest. He had some solid stretches where he didn't give up a goal in the second and made a lot of key saves, and he's continued it over into this one. Indiana just has to try to get back to that volume of shots that we saw yesterday. And
yeah, you're right. They just haven't had it. They haven't had the zone time yet. As Andrew Chambers will send it off to the point. It's Raftis. Raftis tries a shot. This one sticked away as he'll play with it for a moment at the blue line and let his team reset.
He nearly kept it in.
He'll dangle at the blue line. And Raftis fires another one. Parks will make the save, chopping it with his body. And 12:03 remains up on the big board here for our second frame.
And right now, this game has the energy of a typical Saturday contest where we're in Bloomington on Friday and then going on the road on Saturday. You know the guys didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and you can see it.
As this one saved by the pad of Parks. The Flyers will try to chip it out of the zone, but Chambers says not today, as he'll send a flying saucer pass back down below. Raftis will cut off the pad. He'll have a shot. This one goes just wide. As Ruffner will send it up to the point. Hardy will give it right back. Ruffner tries a dangle, and the Flyers will begin to work up ice. Ruffner will get collided with, as this one's saved by McCaskey. This one will now be up to Chambers, and a 2-on-2 the other way. Make that 3. Chambers tries a shot. This one sticked away. As it's flung down below, Chambers slings it to Slavin. Slavin tries a shot. This one off the pad. A save there by Parks. As the Hoosiers starting to slowly get more and more opportunities. It'll be Andrew Chambers. Chambers tries to go to the back door. Had rock. Slavin brings it down, and Parks out of his net, sprawling, makes the stop. Well, Garrett, we're about halfway through the second period, and we really haven't seen too much change from the first, as the Hoosiers starting to get a few more opportunities, but 1-1 our score in a low-scoring game up to this point.
Well, the second period was pretty dead yesterday as well, but fortunately for Indiana, they didn't go scoreless, as we're tied up at 1 now.
Andrew Owen leaves it off to the point. He was sticked away. A nice stop there by Hawkins, able to fling it back in the zone. Jake Rock leaves it down below. It's Owen. The Hoosiers have 2 men on the puck there. As Owen tries to push off a man, he will successfully do that as he'll now drive towards the net. Down below, Rock tries an odd-angled shot. That one saved by Parks, hugging his post tight. Now Paul McClure will dump it in deep, and the Flyers will try to pick it up as it rimmed all the way around. Rosenberg was right there, right after getting off the bench, and just sent it back in deep. Delayed high stick, and it'll go back to the Hoosiers' end.
Well, he just took a swing at McClure after the whistle, and
McClure might have
tried to grab the back of his head. Looks like nothing's going to result from it, but
been a little dramatic there. You see the official talking. That's Rutherford, maybe just giving him a warning. But that was definitely a swing, if you ask me. Although McClure definitely did seem to play it off a little bit too, so.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen that from either side.
You're absolutely right.
Got to embellish a little bit.
We'll try to draw a call. Well, Ian Smith will now take this puck.
If you're not, sorry partner, but if you're not flopping, you're not trying.
You're right. As now the Flyers will start to take a stroll up ice the other way. Down the stick of Ward, as that one just missed one of his teammates' sticks.
Yeah, it got down all the way to McCaskey. He had to block it out of there.
Well, Smith will leave it up and a turnover there. Here's the Hoosiers, a 2-on-1. Smith tries a shot. This one saved by Parks. As Zach Hardy able to hold the line. He'll send it towards the net, deflected away by the blocker of Parks.
Get there.
Simoneau chases down below. The rebound will free up to him. They'll send it over to the point as they'll move it. Raftis looks for an angle. He'll go to the back door, trying to find Smith. Had him and just missed. As Simoneau now bears down for this puck. Still loose in front. Had the first. Warner able to stop that puck. But it trickles out to neutral ice. And the Hoosiers will be forced for a line change. And Dayton will shoot this one all the way down the length of the ice. Raftis, the first one there, and an icing. So we'll come back right down here in front of us for this upcoming faceoff. Jeremy will win it back to DiLorenzo. DiLorenzo tried to get that one through. A toe drag there. The music's still playing. And Dayton now off to the races the other way. McClure tries a hit. And he'll knock his man away from the puck for a second before he recollects it. There's a stick there. It'll be carried up ice by Jeremy. He's moving now quickly.
Offsides. Yep.
And an opportunity blown dead there by the offsides. Like DiLorenzo had his feet across the blue line just a moment early. As Hawkins will take this puck, he'll give it off to Michelli. Michelli will swing it over back to Hawkins. As Hawkins tried to dump it in deep, he was stopped short, and the Flyers will connect to the far side. This one saved by McCaskey, and another face-off up and coming in just a few seconds.
Well, it's still been pretty hard to try to get a feel for this game. It's still 1-1, 7:48 left in the second, but really no action on either side when you think about it.
Yeah, it's been pretty neck and neck both ways. But as you mentioned, there really has not been any big opportunities or chances. There have been a few looks, but that's been about the extent of it here tonight. As Ruffner tries a shot, he'll get knocked down.
He got leveled after that shot, still down.
As this puck to Luke Slavin. And this one blown dead, another Hoosier down on the ice.
We're going to go ahead and take another break while they tend to Colin Ruffner. We'll be right back.
Another Hoosier banged up there as Ruffner gets helped off the ice. And he'll head back to the locker room as well. You know, this draw will be taking place out in the neutral zone. And you really hope that we can keep all the players out here safe the rest of this evening. We've already seen 2 go down for the Hoosiers. And unfortunate big hits. As Patrick Brandenburg will now take possession of this puck. They'll send it on down below to Jake Rock. Rock's pass just bounced over the stick of Brandenburg as the Flyers will dump it in deep. A chance there in front, and the save made by McCaskey. Still loose behind his net as it gets chipped up and out of the zone. And here comes the physicality.
That time it was Brandenburg putting a man to the ice, but we're going to start to see a lot more of this.
And penalties coming up as well. And the first one goes against the Hoosiers. I know I saw another Indiana player fly down to the ice as well, but I think this one's just going to go against Indiana this time. So Dayton will be on a power play. 5-on-4.
go against Warner, they said.
And this one nearly hit the post, I thought, Garrett. I didn't hear the sound of iron, but McCaskey makes a save there as this one frees out to the Dayton defense.
Yeah, I think McCaskey's very bottom of his blocker got a piece of that one.
As Semino will have a skate up ice, it's him and Chambers, a 2-on-1. Chambers receives his pass. He'll shoot, and a backhanded save there made by Parks once again. As this is one back, Michelli will give it off, and the Hoosiers will just decide to skate back and kill off some clock. So Dayton will start their offense now as Sieve will leave it off to the point. This one shot on. Couldn't get through. A pad save there by McCaskey, and this one out of play.
I don't think the clock started that whole time.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Or no, maybe it's at 5:44. That's what it is.
They've had a few clock issues already tonight. The Flyers will win this draw. And Semino there quickly able to clear it down the length of the ice and force the Flyers to reset. As Chambers chased hard there, knocking Dayton off their game for just a second. As it's rimmed all the way around to Dillo. It'll now be another 2-on-1 for the Hoosiers. Chambers and Semino. He'll leave it off. McClure joins the play, a shot, and saved by Parks. And another penalty there going against Dayton. McClure slow to the ice. And back to his feet now. He looks all right. And Garrett, the officials just trying to take the best hand of this game if they can, prevent any more injuries or dirty plays, but we'll now have some more 4-on-4 action for you.
Our favorite.
A common occurrence. And a Dayton player questioning right there, but I mean, clearly a headlock down to the ice. Both teams just getting frustrated, their anger being taken out on each other. As they'll tie it up. Raft is able to step up and take possession of it. As Luke Slavin, now the puck carrier, will go through a defender's legs and weave down below. Rosenberg trying to go to the back door, had Raftis, still bouncing puck, couldn't settle it down, and now the Flyers begin to work up ice again. As Raftis will send it back over to Hawkins, it'll be Rosenberg, and he'll chip it away. Rosenberg to Slavin, he'll just miss by a hair, as someone broke a piece of lumber. That stick flew right in half. That's a Dayton defender. It looked like Pichetti. He'll have to go get a new twig.
And Slavin got dragged down after he took that shot, it looked like, as well, but Indiana will be on the power play now.
Yes, as the 4-on-4 time expired, there's still a minute 23 of power play time up on the big board. So the Hoosiers will bring out power play unit number 1 and see if they can get to work here. And now a 2-on-1 for the Flyers. This one shot high and away from the net, a little wide. As chip back in, we hear a whistle. Not sure exactly the reasoning for it, but maybe that hit a piece of netting as it was dumped in.
And one thing that we've been seeing a lot with this Indiana team that's a little concerning is the amount of odd man rushes that have been happening while we are on the power play. You know, it seems like they've been creeping up a little bit too far and having everybody inside their own blue line, and then next thing you know, Dayton's going the other way.
So now picked up by Jeremy. A full head of steam as he'll skate up ice. As he'll get pushed off the puck. A holding there, if you ask me. 25 grabbed both of his hands. Jeremy couldn't even grab the puck or his stick. Regardless of the fact, it'll be passed up to Simoneau as he'll get dumped to the ice. And when Simoneau gets hit, that's a bad sign for the other team. So we'll see if he responds with a hit of his own. As now a man gets dropped from the Flyers by Leo Warner. It'll be Jeremy once again skating with it. Jeremy fires a shot off the pad. Loose. A second save there by Parks. And another save. Well, Garrett, the initial shots just aren't working for the Hoosiers, as all those times they have rebound opportunities have been the closest they've been to scoring. And these shots that when you enter the zone and just shoot right now have not been a high quality success rate for them. So maybe they'll have to start thinking of other options of getting the puck to the net or getting in deep with more numbers.
And Parks has given up a lot of rebounds yesterday and today as well, but we just haven't seen any Hoosiers down by the crease ready to tap them in.
The Flyers nearly another odd man rush. DiLorenzo able to lift the stick there and stop the play. And Warner strips it away from him.
They just got to try to get bodies near the blue paint whenever they can.
Well, the Flyers return a man to the ice. We're back to even 5-on-5 strength, as a centering pass there was a little off the mark. And offsides, it looks to be our call. I believe 2:49's up on the board. Left here in our second frame.
You are correct. Some young gravy going.
Been some pretty good songs here tonight. They've done a good job with their music.
A little bit of that, never hurt anybody.
As Slavin will send it back to Jack Hawkins. Hawkins will give it back to Slavin. And once again, Garrett, a 1-on-3. Luke Slavin all by himself. Back to the point, it's Hardy. He'll decide to chip it in deep. Owen and Chambers play pitch and catch for a moment. As Owen drives towards the net for a moment, Slavin there. He'll shoot this one off the leg pad of a defender. As he'll reverse hit a man down to the ice. Chambers gets knocked down in front. The Hoosiers have 3 down below the goal line. That's never a good thing. As they spread out, this pass to Hawkins. Hawkins tries a shot, this one high and wide of the net. It'll break out free for the Flyers. So the Hoosiers will have to regroup and try to get back in the zone again. A touch pass there will receive to Chambers. A 1-on-1. Chambers drives in. A good opportunity. And a shot there by Owen after that was sticked away by Parks, but couldn't get another good quality shot on. And now the Flyers once again skating up. Slavin strips it away from him. And Chambers will collect this puck. Slavin's pass to the point. It's McClure. McClure tries a shot. This one off a Flyers stick. And the music once again playing. As Ian Smith will now drive with it. Smith to the point. McClure. This one tipped twice, but away from the net both times.
They might need to pull the goalie on whoever's playing the music here. I think it's time for the backup.
Yeah, someone's getting excited every time they think they might have a chance to play more music, and sure enough, here it comes again. But the Hoosiers there, another good opportunity there with a few quality looks, Garrett. And working that puck down below, already starting to see success rather than just those shots from the point going wide or easily saved by Parks. A pass there from McClure was intercepted there by the Flyers. A good effort there by Smith on the forecheck, able to lift the stick of a defender and take possession. A centering pass, Simoneau down below, had Rosenberg and just missed by a hair. Off to the point it goes, and the Flyers able to clear it out again. This time, Raftis will chip it in deep as we're down to just 45 seconds left to play in the period. Held in by Raftis. Loose in front, a second chance there by Rosenberg and couldn't bury. As Parks playing on his head. The Hoosiers will have another rush here. as Smith leaves it off for Rosenberg. Rosenberg goes far and out. A great shot there, had him beat, and that deflected wide. Now Raptis. A centering pass there, just missed Rosenberg again. Smith down below, another chance. As the Flyers try to eat it up, still loose in front. Just 10 seconds left to go. Rosenberg bears down his stick. Nobody there in front to help. And the Flyers will let this time clock run out. As we hear the buzzer, that's the end of our second frame, 1-1. So Garrett, I guess improvement there from the Hoosiers, able to tuck away one and tie this game at 1, but still not what you're looking for. Although they had numerous opportunities there in the last 2 minutes of the frame, and especially the last 30. Shots, shots, shots. You just need to keep bodies at the net and hopefully capitalize.
Yeah, lots of chances, as you mentioned, but it makes you all that more excited for the third period. And if I had to say anybody had the edge right now, I think it's Indiana, which is a good thing for them. So
we'll take another break here. For the time being, you've been watching Indiana Hockey on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. We're through 2 periods here, and we are now tied 1-1 between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Dayton Flyers here in a quite back-and-forth matchup. Just 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this period, we saw Jack Hawkins rip a shot on it, and Aiden Simmons, I was able to get a stick on it and make a deflection go in the Hoosiers' favor, as we talked about in the pregame. And the score was then tied up 1-1. That would be the only score of the second period for the Hoosiers and for the Flyers. As we mentioned, we are now tied up 1-1, but Dayton has been laying hits all game. Well, the Hoosiers have now been, out for the count and ruled out for the rest of these periods. The penalties have been called. Last night there was the same amount of physicality. The hits were not called. The penalties were not called last night. Tonight, the penalties have been called. And while there's only been one power play goal, there's been a lot of physicality and a lot of chances for both sides. Tavian Parks is probably one of the names that we've mentioned the most on this broadcast so far, but we're going to mention him again. He's been lights out so far, only giving up that 1 goal in this period, but he's been very good keeping an eye on the puck, stopping a sequence of shots, 1, 2, 3 opportunities within the same minute. He's been lights out so far, and we'll look for him to continue that in the third period if the Dayton Flyers want to upset these Indiana Hoosiers. On the other side, we have McCaskey, who's been finding his footing in the second. Gave up one in the first period, but throughout the second period, he looked really solid. It wasn't tested too much, but when he was tested, he held his own and put the Hoosiers in a better spot than they were in the first period. For the Hoosiers, they need to find a little bit more urgency in this period than they have throughout the first 2. This is the game that they know they should be winning, and they want to close this one out, especially in terms of the rankings for the TSCHL rankings for the future, in terms of the regionals and national standings. In terms of where to look for and what to look for more in this period for Indiana, don't rely on McCaskey for long shifts. He is a goaltender that only has a handful of starts, and we don't want to be relying on him to make the key saves here come this third period. We're only 1 goal away from having this slip away from the Hoosiers' hands, and that's not what we want to see. Additionally, don't overthink the plays on the offensive side. They've been ripping shots all night, and while they do lead the shots on goal, they've only have 1 goal, but they cannot let that get to them. Fire at all costs. Don't necessarily wait for the perfect play. Even though there haven't been too many golden opportunities, as long as they keep ripping, I'm sure some of them will get past Tavian Parks, even though he's been lights out so far. As for Dayton, kind of the same thing. Fired any chance. McCaskey hasn't faced too many shots here tonight, and while he has given up that 1 goal, he's looked pretty good. So if they want to be able to test McCaskey, it's not Sammy Billis back there, but not to say anything against McCaskey, but he's a little bit less experienced than Sammy Billis. So if they want to be able to have a chance, they need to rip at least 8 to 10 shots this period. Anything less will not give them a great shot. Additionally, lay down for blocks. The Hoosiers have been ripping all night, and they haven't had too many of them blocked. A lot of them come down to Tavian Parks, and while he's been stopping most of them, I'd like to see the defenders lay a body down and trying to help out their goaltender a little bit more than they've been doing so tonight. Make it easier on Parks, and if they do so, the upset will be in their favor. We'll be back in a little bit with the puck drop of the third period with Garrett and Goose.
I'm Andrew Gus, joined alongside Garrett Drake. We're back here for period 3 of Indiana Hoosier hockey. A 1-1 our score, as the Flyers will take the first possession here of the last 20 minutes. As Warner sends it up the wing, this one will be held in. DiLorenzo chips it up high and lets Jeremy go off. Here comes Will Jeremy. He'll have to chase for this puck as it got a little ahead of him. Back to the point, Leo Warner slides it over to McClure. McClure tries to shot this one off a stick, and it didn't make its way through. As Warner will slap shot this one back into the zone. Will be held now by the Flyers behind their own net. They'll start to work up ice as this puck nearly intercepted. McCaskey steps out of his net to play it. A little more passive this time than the last. As this puck slides to the middle, a shot there and a save made by McCaskey.
Yeah, this is going to be a big period for Indiana's season. As we talked about, every single game matters immensely at this point, especially when you're playing a team the caliber of Dayton. They're down lower in the standings compared to where Indiana is, so this would be a very bad loss.
As now Zach Hardy will send this up. It'll be held and carried in by the Flyers. As Zach Hardy, the first one on the scene, will take it. Hardy will stop behind his net and give it over to Slavin. Slavin tries a pass across. It's deflected off a stick. Trying to find Andrew Owen, getting up ice quickly as Chambers gets dragged down to the ice. It'll now be chased below. It'll connect up and skated out now by Pampana. There's no ice in the call. Jack Hawkins will be there. He'll try to drop a man to the ice, but fortunately able to get the puck away instead. More as now a centering pass there off the side of the iron. A slap shot taken and saved by McCaskey. Hardy flings this one all the way around. It'll go for an Indiana icing, but a goal prevented there by Brendan McCaskey.
That was pretty close range for a slapper like that, but McCaskey was able to see it and deflected that one up high. But a couple dangerous chances for Dayton to start this period, and especially considering the fact Indiana doesn't have the lead. You got to think they're going to try to put the pedal on the gas here. They got to do something to change the momentum.
Rosenberg will tie up this draw and win the draw, as Slavin will now start to carry it up ice. He'll try to go to Rosenberg, but was stopped by a body of a Flyer. A delayed penalty on the play. And we're going to see someone go to the box. I'm not sure who and for what, but it's something I missed. I was looking to the left. It must have happened off to the right.
Well, it's going to be against Indiana. And I believe
they're going to say too many men on the ice. So a bench minor, that's what the call is, but Coach Weiss will have to elect someone to go serve it. Well, the Hoosiers will be tasked at killing off this 2-minute bench minor to start off the period. As Chambers able to win it back, it'll be McClure. And he'll send it flying down before it's gloved away by a Dayton Flyer defenseman. Well, Ruffner will serve the penalty.
I guess that means he's back on the bench.
Yes, it must be, which is a great sign.
Absolutely.
As he was knocked down and helped off the ice in the second frame. So here are the Flyers now skating up ice. A good stick there by Raftis, and able to clear out of the zone was McClure. Some good defensive pair efforts there as Chambers got collided with. Centering pass there. It was tipped to the corner, now carried on by Smith as he'll start to skate up ice and give it over to the far side. This one chipped off the boards and down below. McClure flings a slap shot and Semino able to get a second chance effort to clear it out of the zone. So the Flyers will pick it up back in their own end as Stuber looks for options. He'll decide to skate it himself as Brandenburg, a little two Dayton Flyers hit in one action as this one rims off the glass just in front of us. Hardy will press a man along the glass. As working down below was Constable. Still loose. Constable, a second chance there, saved. And here's Aiden Semino now. Semino decides to skate it himself, but he was stopped by a defenseman, excuse me, as the Flyers will now take possession of it and work back the other way. A toe drag there past Warner, able to push the man off the puck for the time being.
On that last opportunity for Dayton, McCaskey did a great job covering that near post. Had his whole skate wrapped around it and his arm as well. As Leo Warner laying some hits and getting under the skin of the Flyers a little bit. Maybe a little after the whistle, but
Warner picked his pocket and knocked him down, looked the other way. Pretty funny if you ask me.
I think he was making sure we got that on video.
Leo's just having fun out there. But the Hoosiers return a man to the ice, so we're back to even 5-on-5 strength. As DiLorenzo, a full head of steam, chases down below. Michelli now there, steps in for reinforcements as this puck steps back to the blue line and out of the zone. Hawkins had to dump it in deep, and the Flyers now chip it off, try to go off the glass, but that hit the netting, so it'll be dragged down and out of play. This puck makes its way all the way back down to the net of McCaskey. We'll see if he plays it. He'll decide just to cover it. And a smart play there by him. Jeremy will step in and take this draw. As the Indiana Hoosiers will win it. It'll be held now by Jack Hawkins. Hawkins faked right, decided to skate left. Pass a forechecker there. He'll just decide to chip it in deep. As Michelli will go for the first effort there. It'll be collected by the Hoosiers. A shot there from the point came from Raftis after he received a pass from DiLorenzo and gobbled up there by Parks.
And I'm going to be looking at this line right here to try to get something going for the offense. You got Rosenberg, Sim, and Ruffner out there as the forwards, and McClure and Leo Warner as the D-men.
This is a good five to have out there. And you have to imagine Coach Weiss might start shorting the bench a little bit as the clock's starting to slowly lose its time and disappear down to zero. A shot there from Ruffner. A second chance there by Semino. Loose on the doorstep, and the net's off. The wave, no goal, and surprisingly, the net not even on its pegs anymore, Garrett.
Well, they almost made me look like a genius right there, and it looked like a couple rebounds were stabbed at by the Hoosiers, and Parks sprawled out and kicked the net off, and usually you figure since they signaled no goal, that meant the puck wound up in the net somehow, but it was after it was already off its pegs.
Garrett, the Hoosiers crashed hard there, too. A good look. They're getting bodies to the net. As McClure fires this one, Parks will make the save with his Dayton logo at the middle of his jersey. And we'll reset just where a second to go. As the Flyers will win this draw back. They'll skate behind the net. And a centering pass there off Rutherford will bank back into the zone. So Ruffner will chase now, as he'll bank it off the boards. Collected now by Semino. Semino will get driven off the puck. And the Flyers, a chip pass there, saved by McClure's glove. He'll evade a hit for a moment. Dayton able to grab the puck. Some good defense there by Warner, using his body to protect the puck. And delayed offsides there. The Hoosiers able to regain possession as McClure will send it right back to Warner. Warner's pass off Simino's skate and able to get in deep. As this one jumps back to Hardy. A nice nifty move there from him. As he'll swing it up to Rosenberg. Rosenberg receives a cross check to his numbers. Still with a puck on his stick. A backhanded shot there. Still loose in front. A save by Parks. A second chance.
Oh my God.
And once again blown dead. That puck's loose. I can see it. Another tough break for the Hoosiers.
And that came off again. We used to see that a lot. I feel like this year it hasn't been as big of an issue, but now twice on Indiana scoring chances, the nets come off here in Dayton.
And especially in these tight, close games when every goal matters, every shot matters. A save there by Parks and cleared out. Raftis is going to have to chase hard here, and he'll win that foot race. So icing the call. We'll go back to the end of Parks. And we'll see if he can protect his net once again. Brandenburg set to take this draw as he will win it back. Both teams battling for this puck. The Flyers will come up with it. However, Brandenburg quickly steals it away. As Patrick Brandenburg chases down below. We'll have it stripped away from him, and now the Flyers begin to work back towards us. A nice hip check there laid by Hardy. And this one banks off. Here comes Tinos Raftis. Raftis starts to skate up ice. He'll go all the way around behind the net. A centering pass there to the point. Brandenburg shoots this one off the glass. Jake Rock slows it down below. Touch pass to the middle. Hardy shoots another one. Blocker save. Another sprawling save there made by Tavian Parks.
Keep it in.
Zach Hardy, yes, this is one of those times where the Hoosiers can't get themselves caught on a line change. Sure enough, they get back. Good stick there by Hawkins, able to separate that puck and get it back to the neutral zone. But Garrett, that's what we're talking about right there. When the Hoosiers start to get close opportunities and they all start to crash the net hard.
Big hit by Hawkins there to get his man off the puck.
You're right. But that's those times they have to make sure they get back and don't let those odd man rushes occur. So as this one now will free back up to the neutral zone, it'll be Jack Hawkins collecting it. Hawkins will send it on with the forehand to Slavin. And now Slavin chips one up, trying to find Chambers. Now the Flyers will take it. Pass shot, this one goes just wide. A second chance, a nice save there by Brendan McCaskey with the right pad. As Chambers grinds for this puck. He'll be lifted down off the puck. But Warner, a centering pass there, will connect to Slavin. Slavin, he'll shoot this one, but was stopped away by a defender. Delayed offsides, the Hoosiers are forced to tag up, and Mark Pachetti and the Flyers will have a moment to reset and get up ice. His pass will go off 2 sticks and finally make its way to the Indiana zone. As McClure will fling this one off the boards. Now Andrew Owen, the skater with the puck. A centering pass there, an opportunity. Saved away by a stick.
Dangerous chance.
I think that second chance was whiffed on there by the Flyers. As Rosenberg now cuts the middle, a second chance shot. Off of a pad. And once again, Tavian Park stands tall.
And a lot of these shots on both sides of the ice here are just going straight into the netminders, not really picking spots.
This one a turnover. A slap shot taken and saved by McCaskey. We'll hear the whistle. And with 10:15 up on the big board, still 1-1 our score.
Who would have thought this is what we end up seeing after a 7-2 final last night?
You're absolutely right. And this game's going to be a grind all the way to the end. And Garrett, the next goal of this game may be the winner. We'll have to see when it comes, but Both sides neck and neck right now. As Jeremy will send a saucer pass, trying to find his buddy Ethan DiLorenzo. As now D'Lo sends it across the ice to a diving Paul McClure, who will knock a man to the ice. As DiLorenzo now chases, this puck frees all the way up. Back to the Flyers, who will begin to work up ice. Some good defense there by Andrew Chambers, the center, with his feet. As Jeremy able to collect that puck again. It'll just be rimmed back in as McClure will give it off the boards, awaiting Andrew Chambers. Now McClure will go the other way as this puck ends up on the stick of Will Jeremy. We'll try to send it to the tape of McClure, but this one a little off. Chambers will now skate with it, gaining ahead of speed, and he'll keep going. Chambers a toe drag. Chambers shoots this one, saved by Parks.
Jeez.
He's on fire.
He's not letting anything by, and he's tracking every single puck that's coming at him. It's going to be tough for Indiana to get out of here with a win. Dayton's not making it easy on them, and
their senior night only with one player, Kevin Bora. We saw him honored before the game, but Garrett, this is one of those games that, you know, they're all playing for him as his last game here at the Kettering Ice Center, so you know they're going to want to have this one. As Jack Hawkins will step up to dump it in deep. It'll be chased now. Zach Hardy will try a hit. As a centering pass there, stolen away. This one shot on, saved by McCaskey. Still loose in front. A second chance save. Jack Hawkins able to net that with his glove and grab it down. So Zach Hardy will slow it down and send it to the far side, awaiting Jake Rock, as Rock will cross the blue line and chip it to the corner. Michelli will get pushed off the puck, as Rock now looking for options. It's Michelli. He'll collide with a man. As Brandenburg
thought
will
Indiana
chase.
might have gotten away with a penalty
Yeah,
there.
I thought that was a trip too. I was expecting to see an arm, but we're getting to that stage of the game where they're not going to call much.
And the next penalty could be the difference maker.
And here's that music once again, playing out of the blue. As Simino will send a pass to the middle, it's intercepted and offsides there. After that one was bouncing off the stick of Pachetti, his team couldn't tag up in time, so we'll have a quick offsides. As it's one back, Leo Warner will take possession. He'll slide it over to Raftis, who will send a bank pass up to Rosenberg. Rosenberg cuts towards the middle. He'll have a shot! And save there. What an opportunity and what a save made by Parks. Wow, Garrett. I'll tell you, every chance they have, it just seems to get better and better every time, and a great opportunity there made by him. And you're right, Parks is not going to want to let another puck get past him tonight, as every save he makes just seems to be better than the last. With this one shot on, as it goes just wide, Raftis will hold the line. Now collected and sent back to the point. Raftis will send it off the boards. It looks like Parks almost lost his footing there. We're going to hear a whistle. We'll see where this face-off goes. I'm not really sure. I
think it was the net again.
Was it the net again? Okay, you're right, Garrett. I missed that once again, but.
And talking about Parks, he's seeing that puck like a bowling ball coming at him right now. I mean, he's tracking it. He's seeing incredibly. He knows where it's at all times. And that's going to make things hard for Indiana. They got to beat him to the far side.
And get him moving again, too. We saw in that second period, they were trying to crash the back door hard and get him sliding from post to post. As this one shot on now and saved, Zach Hardy will recollect this puck and start to skate up ice. As Slavin gets in the zone, his forward staggered with him. A pass to the back door. Chambers was there. Once again, just a hair off. As Garrett, those opportunities are really starting to come now, but they just can't seem to bury.
I'd like to see the forwards crash the net a bit more too, because we've seen so many rebounds given up by Parks that could have been tapped home.
Chambers strong on his stick there, down to a knee. Made the save by himself as Andrew Owen collects this one off his body. Hardy now skates to it as he'll rim it off to McClure. McClure's pass to the other side was stopped by a shin guard of a Flyer. As Dayton trying to pass there, it didn't make its way through. McClure will have to battle with his foot race as both bodies collide in front of us. It'll be slowed down. McClure on the puck. Well, we'll see a line change.
Did they say the puck just got stuck underneath?
Yeah, maybe it was stuck underneath the body of McClure, so they decided to call it frozen. As this one shot a little wide over a reaching McCaskey. This one now hits the end of the boards as it frees up. Ian Smith will give it over as Jeremy will get pushed off the puck. Here comes DiLorenzo. As he'll chip it in, he'll now go and chase hard. As Dayton will now start to skate up ice. Raftis able to steal it away from him. Off to the point, this one goes just wide. Leo Warner will fake to the outside and go to the inside as his pass will go off Ian Smith's stick. Smith will bang a man into the boards. As this will now collect to Warner once more. Looking for DiLorenzo, just missed his stick by a second. And icing the call on the Hoosiers. Garrett, just some clear frustration from Indiana.
They just can't get anything going, and the lineup looks a little different than it did yesterday as well. You could argue that's what's causing the lack of offense here, but
Parks has just played phenomenal. That's been the main trend here tonight, as it just seems like every shot that comes towards him is saved. Well, this one will just miss past Raftis. A wraparound opportunity there. Saved away by McCaskey. Held by Stuber as he'll get pushed off the puck. A hit there. Warner's going to go to the box in a moment. Delayed penalty. As Indiana will touch up the puck. We'll now see a penalty. They're going to call an elbow, although I thought Warner hit him with his shoulder. Although we had the same angle as the official. Warner trying to plead his case, but the official already made his call, and that's going to stand.
I don't know how the clock's at 4:57 right now. I had it more around 4:30, but
something to know, definitely. And we keep our clock right to the wire. I know, Garrett, you've been watching that, monitoring the whole game. It's a little suspicious. 27 seconds of clock.
We try to, at least, and it would be nice if we could have it synced up to the official clock and see where the difference is, but
well, Dayton will win this draw. And this is going to be a big kill for the Hoosiers. A centering pass there, stolen away by Brandenburg as he'll clear it out of the zone.
Chambers got to get back. Just grab your stick and get going.
And sure enough, he rejoins the play. As we'll now have 4-on-4. Dayton once again shoots themselves in the foot. And 4-on-4.
Well, that didn't take
up
long.
and coming. You're absolutely right, Garrett.
That one going to be slashing if I saw it right.
And you're right. Exactly the call they make at the box. Hey, Garrett, still, I'm trying to pick out each one of these Dayton players by number, but it's tough. They don't even have the side numbers in their jersey. It's just a number on the back. So when they're skating us, you physically can't see who it is unless you know their skating stride. But 4-on-4, once again, you said a common theme. We haven't really seen a power play for more than a few seconds, it seems like, before the other team evens it out. Oh, this one down below, carried by Rutherford. As he'll get sticked away, here's Rosenberg and Simoneau, a 2-on-1. Rosenberg sticked away by the Brett Stuber. A good play there made by him. He's now down below. Rosenberg works with it. A centering pass to the middle.
Oh, man.
Rosenberg still with it. As it jumps out of the zone, will be collected by McClure.
And the Hoosiers are going to have about a 20-second power play at the end of this. 53 seconds left on the Indiana penalty right now.
The Hoosiers able to get a full line change there as Luke Slavin carries it up ice. He'll leave it off. Raftis tries to go to the far side as Andrew Chambers was dragged down to the ice. Slavin once again collects this puck. He'll give it to Hawkins. Hawkins will give it right back. Slavin cuts towards the middle. A shot. This one saved off the pad and all the way down the length of the ice. Icing the call, so Dayton's going to have to stay out there with some tired legs. Still 24 seconds left to go on the first Leo Warner penalty. 46 seconds left to go on the slash against Dayton. Well, a flyer there whiffs is now picked up by the Hoosiers. It'll be Constantinos Raftis with a shot. As the Flyers regain possession, a big hit there by Raftis, able to separate the man from the puck. The Hoosiers will reset in neutral ice as the Flyers will bank this one off the boards.
On the power play now.
For 18 seconds, as Raftis will start to turn up ice. Raftis fires this one, saved off the pad. That one nearly got past him. And a clear there made by the Flyers. We'll see just 5 seconds left to go before we're back at even strength, in which now we are. As Michelli got that, and the Flyers with too many men out there, caught on a line change with the guy coming out of the box. They've got possession of that puck, and all of a sudden, the officials go and discuss.
Well, you got to stick with the call on the ice, I would think, in this situation.
And
but it looks like
they're
might
skating
be
over to the bench.
it.
Yeah, which means they're definitely changing. And you know Coach Weiss is not going to be happy, but I thought I saw the same thing. As the player off the bench, he got out there. The man in the penalty box came out at the same time. And sure enough, they're going to skate away, and we're going to have even strength. Once again, has us scratching our heads. As Jeremy will win this puck back. McClure had it stripped from him as DiLorenzo will bank this puck off the boards. Now McClure will receive this puck. As he'll send it back down to a fellow freshman, Zach Hardy. Hardy up to Michelli. And Michelli turns this puck over, and now the Flyers in possession. This one shot saved by McCaskey, a sprawl. And Jeremy trying to send it up the wing to DiLorenzo. Hits Ethan DiLorenzo all on his own. He'll shoot, and once again the net comes off. And the arm flies up, which means we're going to have a penalty of some sort. I'm not sure what. But we'll see momentarily.
They might get Dayton for a hook here as DiLorenzo was crashing the net.
Once again, the officials discuss. Well, Garrett, I guess there's no call.
Already?
I have a lot of questions right now, is all I can say. As Rosenberg fires this one right off the draw. Will now be collected by Ruffner. Ruffner still with it. A turnover there as Dayton nearly had it. Simoneau able to hustle and get that puck back. Still loose in front as Dayton will chip it off. Almost saved in there in the zone by Warner. Shot there, sticked away. Simoneau on the shot attempt. As Rosenberg feeds it right back to him on the point. It's Hawkins. Hawkins fires a shot off the pad. Loose in front. A second chance there by Simoneau goes just wide as Ruffner was tripped up there near the net. All the way down the length of the ice. And a Dayton icing. As a few extra seconds once again run off the clock. Timeout taken. And I don't know which team took the timeout.
I think it was Weiss.
Was it Weiss? It wouldn't surprise me, but
given the icing call, you got to think he's trying to draw something up.
The officials never made their call of which side.
Now they're asking the Hoosiers which side they want the face-off. And it'll be on the glove side of Parks.
Well, they drew up a little play there, so we'll see what they decide to run as they change the line. McCaskey will retreat back to his net.
We haven't seen the Hoosiers in overtime very often this season, but looks like we might be on our way to another overtime game.
We saw just last weekend against the Michigan Wolverines, so we saw a little bit of 3-on-3 action there.
Ray Myers with the OT winner in the outdoor game. Winter Classic, if you will.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Very lucky and thankful to Michigan for that opportunity. And this puck will be won by the Flyers. They'll try to send one out of the zone, but Luke Slavin able to hold it. Puck still loose in the slot as now the Flyers carried out. A big hit on the play. Raftis drops a man to the ice. Owen, a pass to the middle.
30 seconds here.
As the Flyers will dump it in deep. Raftis will pick it up and start to skate up ice. Raftis gives it up to Chambers, but he was stopped just short.
That's off.
Offside's the call, and we'll go back out to neutral ice in just a moment. Well, the Hoosiers will win this draw, as Simoneau had that, a turnover there from him. As driving to net was Rosenberg, a close opportunity. We're down to under 10 seconds. A shot by Warner. This one goes just wide. Another one saved there by Parks.
Looks like there was just 1 second, so McCaskey will head to the bench. It looks like it's exactly 1 second, so I don't think there's going to be time for Indiana to do anything here, but
we'll probably just try to send Will Jeremy shooting this one or a right-handed shot towards the net and have all the boys crash. Well, they won the draw and got a shot off. It went a little wide, but a good opportunity nonetheless. Well, Garrett, 60 minutes was not enough for us, so we'll have to strap it up for overtime. We'll have 3-on-3 overtime for 5 minutes. Golden goal, as soccer players like to call it. So the next goal wins sudden death overtime here in Dayton. Some TSCHL action. We'll take a brief break here on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network before we join you back live for overtime. And we're back for overtime, as Coach Weiss will decide to send out Jack Hawkins, Zach Hardy, and Ben Rosenberg. Those are his three. For the Flyers, taking the opening draw will be Spencer Dilio, as the Hoosiers will win it back. It'll be Ben Rosenberg with speed. He'll start moving up ice, a one-on-one. Rosenberg through one man. And he'll have to wait for his teammates to catch up, as he'll now circle to the top of the zone. He'll fake to the middle. Rosenberg, a one-man show. He'll try to elevate this puck, but Parks makes the save. As now the Flyers will start to work up ice, it's Brett Smith. Smith will cross the blue line and start to drive towards the net. A good stick there by Rosenberg, able to stop him from driving towards the net.
McCaskey was playing with the post over there too. Looks like that side, the net's having some issues staying down.
As Hardy will be pressed now by a man. Simino goes to help. Simino banks it off past a 2-on-1. He'll slide it over as Andrew Chambers catches up with the puck. Chambers slides it down to Simino. Loose in front, still loose on the doorstep. And the Flyers will clear it all the way down. Save from disaster. Warner will go back to his own goal line and pick up this puck and now start to skate up ice. He'll leave it off for Jeremy. As they'll battle in front of the Hoosier bench, the Flyers will regain possession. Chambers chases down below. He'll knock his man off the puck and now get pressed along the glass. Chambers chasing. As this puck banks off the boards. The Flyers start to work up ice, and they'll start a 2-on-1. As the Hoosiers rejoin the play, this puck frees up down below. A centering pass. Up top, McCaskey makes the save. And Jeremy missed that puck. A shot there, saved by McCaskey.
Here we go.
Here comes Will Jeremy. He'll fake in. He'll leave it off for DiLorenzo. Backdoor pass, score! Indiana scores! Will Jeremy on the backdoor from DiLorenzo, 2-1 Hoosiers. As they'll top the Flyers and make the sweep. What a goal there, and what a pass. And now the smiles from the Hoosiers come. A great play there and a great opportunity from the boys in white here tonight.
Wow, everybody thought DiLorenzo was going to shoot that one, and he was able to find Jeremy right next to the post, and he tucks it home. Tavian Parks gave it his best effort today. Dayton played phenomenal, but the Hoosiers able to squeak out an overtime win.
You're absolutely right, Garrett. A hard-fought game for both teams. It came all the way down to the wire. And we had to have that overtime period with 2:39 left. The Hoosiers once again come on top with an overtime victory, as they did last weekend against Michigan. And now 2 weekends in a row with 2 sweeps, as the Hoosiers will continue a little winning streak as we head to next weekend. Well, Garrett, for next weekend will be senior night on Friday night, as well as Pink the Rink, where the boys will be wearing their pink breast cancer awareness jerseys at the Frank Southern Ice Arena. We'll have live coverage for you at 9:30 p.m., as well as Saturday afternoon we'll be in Indianapolis at 3:30 p.m., both games against Bradley. Stay tuned for then. And once again, the Hoosiers top the Dayton Flyers by a final score of 2-1. For Garrett Drake, I've been Andrew Gus. We say thank you for tuning in. Have a great night.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. We're here not just through 3 periods, but 3 periods and a little extra after that OT game winner by Will Jeremy, none other than Will Jeremy, one of the leading point scorers for our team, and additionally was assisted by Ethan DiLorenzo, another large point scorer for the Indiana Hoosiers. They were able to connect for the Hoosiers' second OT game-winning goal in 2 weeks. In the beginning of the third period, there was lots of time in the neutral ice, and even when both teams had the puck in their offensive zones, there wasn't a ton of shots being faced off. When they were on net, both McCaskey and Parks were able to hold their own and kept us scoreless throughout the third period, going into overtime 1-1. The hits slowed down in the third period, even though it was quite physical in the first and second. Penalties weren't called as much in the third period, but when they were, nobody was able to capitalize. With 4:47 to go, Leo Warner got called for a penalty, but it was quickly neutralized when the Dayton Flyers were called for slashing. There were grade A chances for IU in the final 5-minute frame, and they were not able to capitalize. Luckily, when it got to OT, the Hoosiers were able to pick up the pace and kind of dominated throughout the final 5 minutes. Throughout the final 5 minutes, the Hoosiers were able to get on their own 2 feet, and Ethan DiLorenzo found Will Jeremy for the game-winning goal. The Hoosiers were able to win this one 2-1 as the final, and they now move to 21-5 on the year. The next time the Hoosiers will be on this network will be at Friday at 9 p.m. at the Frank Southern Ice Arena against Bradley University. We'll see you then.